Hello everybody, welcome back to the gold making series. This is part 2 of the sort of series about jewel crafting and mining. And this time we're going to look at how you can actually get those gems to sell, not just post them in the auction house and how you do that, but actually get them to sell so that you get the gold, because they can sit on the auction house looking all pretty for all eternity and you may never get the gold. But let's try and fix that and remedy that. And try not to get too tongue-tied in the process. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff in this mailbox, which I'll be looking at some point in listing. But for the purposes of this episode, I think that we have more than enough stuff to list. What do you think? Do you think this is enough gems? Mainly uncommons. It's quite a bit. It's just a little bit, you know, a little bit. Anyway, so the main thing with these gems, right, is it also, again, is going to depend on your realm and who is on that realm and what they are doing. Because as you can imagine, you have some people that will sit there all day. The reason they play WoW is to make gold. That's what they do. They sit there all day. They're constantly just posting stuff and making gold. So what happens generally, and the reason why your gems don't tend to sell, is because you go and you cut your gems, you hop onto your bank alt maybe, you go and you post your gems, and then you go and do something else. And they've just undercut you with like 5 million gems, and no one can even see your gems. Your gems will never see the light of day ever again. And that is why they don't sell. Depending on the server, okay, I don't want you to get too freaked out about being on a high population server. Like you might be going, oh no, I'm on a high population server, there's more people doing this, there's no way I can make gold, let me transfer to a low pop. Don't do that, because there are two main things. You've got how many people are doing it, but you've also got how much people are actually buying the gems. So on a low pop realm like this one, you have like maybe 5 big guys that are all flexing their muscles going, I control the gem market, and they're all constantly undercutting each other and everything, and you got like 5 there. And then maybe on a high population realm you have like 100, but people are also buying like 100 times as many gems, so don't worry about it too much. Pretty much you can sell more. It's just it can be a little bit harder, and you do have to compete with a few more people though, but there is more money to be made on high population realms. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Nothing wrong with high pop servers, and nothing wrong with low ones, except for if you want trying to organize a raid, that can always be a little bit troublesome. Anyway, so let's go and have a look at how you can handle this, because obviously you can't sit there all day, you can't be constantly posting, and I do love Auctionator. I really, really do. It's very fantastic in the way that you can just sort of drag something there and then you can post that item there. But I find I really like Trade Skill Master because of the speed at which you can post your auctions. So you can just have all of these gems in your bags, you can hop on, you can list them in a couple of seconds, and you can hop off, do something else, come back on, list the gems, undercut the people again, and you can do this like every so often. But the main thing is, obviously, you're probably not going to be there all day, and even if you were, you're probably not going to want to camp in front of the auction house all day. That is boring. Well, you may find it boring. Some people enjoy that, obviously. But what you're going to want to do is time it so that you spend as little time getting as much money for the time that you've invested. So, generally during the week, most players aren't online. They're busy at work, or they're busy doing something else, you know, and there's not going to be very much in the way of buying and selling going on. You know, you'll still have the big guys that are flexing their muscles, probably relisting a bit, but for the most part, there's not too much activity. The main thing is going to be towards the evening. Right, because everyone's going, oh my goodness, I have a raid in 5 minutes, I have to gem this, I have to enchant this, where are my flasks? And they're all getting kind of freaked out and running off and rampantly trying to get gems and everything. And that's where the majority of the sales are going to happen, generally in the night. So, you know, from around about like maybe 5 p.m. Onwards into like maybe 9, 10-ish, a little bit later. So what you want to try and do, if you are quite pressed for time, is you want to be more active in that evening period, and you want to try and get as many sales out of that evening period as you can. So by making sure that your characters are all gemmed and enchanted and everything, so you don't have to run off doing that kind of stuff, you can hop on, you can post your auctions, and then you can keep messing with that. Now we're going to be looking at Trade Skill Master, because I've been talking a lot about posting auctions and undercutting, and this is the add-on that's going to let you do that in as little time as possible, I've found. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be posting, people are going to undercut you, you're going to take off your auctions by cancelling them, and then you're going to undercut them, and that's going to keep going on so that you can try and get as many sales as possible. You obviously do not want to just swamp the auction house. Larger realms you can post more, smaller realms be careful, post less. You don't want to just crash the price because then you will destroy your own profit. Bad move. So let's go and have a look at Trade Skill Master. It can be quite intimidating. I have made a guide for it, a very, very basic guide in terms of setting up groups, which is mainly what you'll be doing. And basically what this is going to let you do is just post things seriously easily. So what you'll do is you'll have a group that you'll select groups, you'll type in a group name. For example, you'll say cut gems, and then you'll have cut gems over here, and this will be your group. Then you will have operation options, so it's going to have a look at that. You can say match stack size. I would tick that. There's no reason not to. You can go ahead, tick stack size, and then we're going to go over to post. Now, if you are someone that is like cancelling and relisting every 3 seconds because you are spending all of your time in front of the auction house because you really enjoy it, hell, you love this gold making stuff, then you're going to want a much lower duration. So if you're doing that constantly, pick 12 hours. If you're doing it maybe once or twice a day, or maybe like, you know, pretty much once a day, go for 24 hours. If you are a massive slacker like I am, you might want to go for 48 hours. Though bear in mind that if you're doing that, cancelling and relisting, not really going to be something that you're going to be doing. So what we're going to be going is over here, you've got the minimum price, maximum price, normal price. Look at your server, okay? How much did those gems cost you, like per gem, to make? You know, when does it stop being profitable? So I've got a minimum price of 30 gold. If a gem is on the auction house for less than 30 gold, I will not post it. I will post it normal. That's what I've got it set for. So I will not try and sell anything below 30 gold for the gems that are cut. And then you've got the normal price, which is generally kind of like the fallback price. It's the price you'll normally kind of sell at if there's nothing else there, or if someone's got a maximum price you can see there that is just absolutely insane, then you'll be undercutting them, or just straight up, not even just undercutting them, just like way undercutting them and falling back on your normal price. Now for gems, you want a stack size of 1, because you don't want to list as 20 gems. For example, if I listed 20 Sovereign Imperial Amethysts, that would be terrible. I would rather have 20 stacks of 1 on the auction house, because with things like gems, generally people want to buy them 1 at a time. For other things like herbs, they want to buy 1 stack at a time, but for this, they want to buy 1 gem at a time generally, so list them in things of 1s. And then you got the post cap there. I currently have that at 15. I should have probably reduced that. I can maybe make that like 10 or something. My numlock's not on. There we go. The main thing with the post cap is you don't want to just flood the auction house, so if you have 500,000 Sovereign Imperial Amethysts, you don't want to be listing 500,000 Sovereign Imperial Amethysts, because that is a very terrible idea. Set a limitation. Remember, if things are selling really fast, you can always be posting more and more and more. So don't worry about that too much. Don't be thinking, oh, but if I don't have all of them in the auction house, what if someone comes along needing 500 gems? A, that's not going to happen, and B, you can just be listing, relisting as these things are being bought if you need to. And then you've got things like cancel. You've got cancel to repost higher, and you've got this little box over here saying cancel undercut auctions. Make sure that that is ticked. When you've done all of that, you've pretty much got it sorted, right? Make sure that you get these price all done. You can change the bid percentage. Do hover over things if you're unsure about what it does. I've said it before and I will say it again. Trade Skill Master has beautiful tooltips that are very thorough, and if you read them, I think that a lot of this add-on just becomes so much easier. It looks very complicated, but trust me, just hover your mouse over a couple of things and you will start to see it becomes a lot easier. Anyway, so now we're going to be looking at some macros, right? Because we want to be posting things nice and quickly. So where did I put those? There we go. I've got my cancel and post macros. Post / click TSM auctioning post button. And then you've got cancel / click TSM auctioning cancel button. What does this mean? Let's open the auction house. I've got the Trade Skill Master window. Go over to auctioning. You're going to have your groups that you've set up. You can select them. Make sure that they are selected. And then you're going to click Start Post Scan, and it's going to be looking through everything. And you can use this for more than just the gems. I just hit my teeth. Ow. But you can also use it for other things. But for the gems, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And we're going to be looking at that now. So I've got a whole bunch of... I've got the uncommon gems in here as well. I've got the rare gems in here as well. going to be good looking more at the group in a second. Of course, there is the guide on that as well if you want to look at that, but I'm assuming that some people have already seen that, so I'm going to be looking at it a little bit more in terms of how you configure it a little bit later on. Let's focus on how we can use it at the moment and what we're going to be doing. So it's got a hell of a lot of stuff that it is busy sorting through, and you'll see it's got 276. That's not very much, but it should be enough for now. And now we've got these two buttons. One of them is bound to shift mouse wheel down, the other is bound to shift mouse wheel up. The mouse wheel up is cancel, the mouse wheel down is post. So if I take my mouse, watch how many things are posting, right? You've got the scroll wheel. Now normal buttons you press, one press is equal to one action. With the scroll wheel, if you scroll it, it will be like 30 actions. So you can tell it that you'll be posting all of those auctions, and that counts as like 276 clicks right there. That was much easier than going click, 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 click. Much easier than trying to post them one at a time using Auctionator, though I really do love Auctionator. And then what we're going to be doing once this is all posted, and it's busy posting everything, generally you'll have to post like the last one for some reason. It always kind of bugs out with that one, and you need to post that. You can either use the mouse wheel down thing, or you can click it. It just seems to kind of need that final one to be posted, and after it's done sorting all your stuff in your bags, it's going to fly onto the auction house and be posted there. And then we're going to look at the cancel window. And what it's going to do is it's going to scan everything that's been undercut, and then you're just going to rip all of that off the auction house. It'll go into your mail, you go over to your mailbox, you open it, you take all of that stuff that you cancelled, you then run over to the auction house and you slap it back on, undercutting the person. So basically, you are always the one that people see. I want gems, who am I looking for? It's you, because you are the lowest priced auction, you have undercut the person. And that is what you're going to do. Generally with undercutting, remember, you want to undercut by a tiny amount. I know some people think it's really, really cheeky to undercut by 1 copper, but the main thing is, what that does is it means you lose, like, nothing, and you're, like, listed before the person. You don't want to undercut by large amounts of gold, because again, that will kill your profit. You don't want to kill your profit unless, I don't know, you're weird and you don't like money, and you don't want gold. In which case, why are you watching this? If you don't want to make gold, why are you watching a gold making series? That makes no sense. I don't understand you. So of course you want to make gold. So don't kill your profit. Make sure to undercut by like 1 copper, and that will be all fantastic. And we'll look a little bit more at Trade Skill Master in a second. It's busy posting. And while it's doing this, after you've used the scroll wheel thing, you can go out, you can go and have a cup of coffee quickly. You can, I don't know, brush your teeth, have a shower, who knows. And when it's finished, that time it didn't need that final click, which is pretty awesome. And then you can click the restart button, or you can close and reopen it, and then you've got the cancel scan. Now we've just posted this, so odds are no one's undercut us unless they are amazingly fast. And what it's going to do is it'll scan all of the auctions that you have on the auction house, and it's going to be looking at everything. So basically, if someone's undercut you and it's like below the minimum price, you would be reposting that depending on how your settings are set. For example, if I have it tending here so that if someone's undercut below the min price, then I just post at the normal price. So it goes, the person that's undercut me is below the minimum price, not going to bother taking it off the auction house, doesn't matter, it's all fine. And I'm actually going to change that in a little bit so that you can scan, do it more. And then what will happen is this cancel button will light up. You'll go shift mouse wheel up, for example, and you go cancel, cancel, cancel. And then you can go over to your mailbox and list everything all over again. And you can do this like every half an hour. You don't want to be doing this like every 2 seconds, because that's a massive time investment and you're short on time. So generally you want to concentrate, as I said, towards the evening when the majority of the player base is online. On weekends, you know, Saturday and Sunday, and particularly Friday nights, wow. There tends to be a lot more action going on, so you can list more often. But for the most part, focus towards the evening, focus your efforts towards the evening. You will make more gold. Make no mistake, if you sat there all day cancelling and relisting stuff so that you were always the first person that someone saw, you would make a lot of gold, but it would be a massive time investment. So it's up to you. How much do you feel like putting into this? For me, like if I can make 20,000 gold a day, I don't want to sit there all day posting and reposting. Obviously, you can make more gold on higher population realms, though. which is quite nice. So if you're on a high pop realm, you can probably make quite a bit more than that. But for the most part, I find it's not necessary. And here's another thing you need to be careful of. Some of the people that like to flex their gold making muscles will say, look at this person, who is this person? And then they will immediately try and crash the market. They will try and force you out because they don't want the additional competition. And generally, if they see that you're just sort of persisting, they'll leave you alone after a while. I haven't found it to be too bad. What I would do if I were you is when they crash it, don't post it. Ignore it. It will eventually equalize because they're denying themselves profit. And if they say, oh look, well they're not there anymore, it obviously worked, they go back to doing it normally, then you post again, they will crash it again, you hold off, they will crash it again, and you just keep doing it again and again and again. You'll get a sale here and there, and eventually they will probably stop because they will just be killing their own profit and you won't even be caring because you're just saying, look, if you want to sell gems for 2 gold apiece, you do that. I've still got my gems, so when you run out, I'll be happy to list and keep people supplied. Wink. Ha ha ha. Thank you. Because you're silly, and you can sort of be like that, and that's how it's going to be working generally. They won't be, unless they're really, really silly, they won't be constantly trying to do that. And you know what? If they do, power to them. Your gems can sit in your bank for years, and you won't care. Because you can just post them whenever you feel like it. Oh, look at this. He's decided to revert the auction back to normal. I can post again, and you know it'll just go on like that. I'm not sure if I'm quite getting my point across. You will see it though. Don't post unless it is profitable for you, or unless you need quick gold. Sometimes I will post things at a price that I feel isn't profitable because I want the gold now so that I can have the gold to reinvest into something else. Because that's how I am. I don't like to just have stuff sitting around in my bags. But for things like the gems, you went to all the trouble of mining them. And sometimes, actually, if you're going out and you're mining them particularly, it's pretty much pure profit anyway. You didn't buy the mats. You're not losing any gold. If they want to crash the market, the only person they're messing up is themselves. They'll be messing up your profit a little bit, but you can't actually compete with them like that because you're paying no gold for the mats. You're farming them yourself if you're doing that. And if you don't feel like posting at a price that you feel isn't good, then like I said, just ignore them. Wait it out. And it should eventually equalize. One of the things you can do while this is going on is you can post them at the normal price. And that's one of the things about it, because maybe you'll have like one gem sell every so often. And so you'll still be getting a little bit of gold. And you can always be posting more as they decide that obviously they're not forcing you out. So don't just get intimidated if you go into a market and then suddenly it's not profitable. Gosh, is this magic? No, someone is trying to bully you out of the market. It's quite... I wouldn't get too worried about it. You know, it's not like they're trying to be too horrible or anything. It's just them being competitive. And you know what? You will beat them. You will beat them. Or you will at least be on par with them, and you will give them a run for their money, and we're busy looting a lot of stuff and everything. So that's pretty much what you're going to be doing. We can actually... Look at that, we're already selling some stuff. And some more stuff, because we're number 1 on the auction house. And you can go over there and you can... Even if you're taking a really, really long time listing your auctions, maybe you have 1,000 items to list, just occasionally have a look at the cancel. And one of the things I do is it takes me a while for me to post everything. So I might post everything, trips to my mailbox and back, and once I've got everything on the auction house and I'm ready to leave, do a cancel scan, pick up anything that's been undercut, bring it back, post it, and then I will go and do something else. Maybe level my Shadow Priest, because he's actually pretty cool. And I want to play him as Disc, because I think Disc could be quite a lot of fun, though. I know that some people have said that Holy is really awesome, but I figure that's what dual spec's for. I can always try out both, which would be quite interesting, though I do want a DPS spec, because that's quite nice. Knowing that people have undercut below the minimum price, though I'm going to change the minimum price, because I feel like it's... some of those gems are just terribly priced. That's just how it goes. And so I will be changing that. So go ahead, go get Trade Skill Master, check out the guide as well, and now for those of you that want to know a little bit more about the add-on, let's go through some of that, and some of how it works as well, so you can get even more set up. Alright, we're going to go back to the groups. So now that you've got your cut gem group, you've got the operation, you've got the gold, the minimum, the normal, the max, all that kind of stuff, you've got all these lovely tooltips, you're going to go over to items after you've selected the operation. and then you're going to add them. You see these on the left-hand column are things that are not in a group. You can see this quite a lot because I'm very lazy. On the right-hand side are the things that are in the group. Okay, so this is the cut gem group. Generally, you want things that have the same price range and the same way of listing. So very similar items, like gems, to be in the same group. So I've got pretty much all of the cut gems in this group over here. And then I've got the uncommon gems over here. They're not cuts, these are just the raw uncommon gems that I have over here. And all you have to do to add something, so for example I can click that and I can click remove, that will get it over here. And then I can, where is that? Where did it go? There we go. You can click that and click add. And that's just how it goes. And say you've selected a whole bunch of things, but now you don't feel like clicking 100 different things again, and you don't really want to add these, you can just click clear selection and it will cancel what you have selected. Wow, someone is buying a lot of something. We can always post more. Like I said before, we posted a couple of items. They seem to be buying an awful lot. Maybe they're leveling something. I imagine they're leveling jewelcrafting. So we can just sort of give them some more. It's always good. And you can just add all kinds of things to this. And so we're going to go over to cut gems. We're going to go over to operations, view operation options, post. And we've got the uncut amount over at 1 copper over there. And we're going to change the minimum price to, let's select something with terrible minimum price. Let's just change this to maybe 20 gold. It's not too bad. We sell it for 20 gold, shouldn't be too much of a train wreck. And then we can go over here, and we should post even more stuff. And of course we've got a whole bunch of things sold, so we will be posting even more things, because obviously we just sold a whole bunch of stuff. I've even got a couple of primal diamonds in my possession, so I can be undercutting someone over there. And we can just post a whole bunch of stuff. I've got some glyphs in here and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that is how you're going to be making some gold on the gems. So I hope that I have answered that question, and I hope that I have really helped clarify a few points about the jewel crafting and about the mining. And of course, if you do have more questions that you want answered, or anything really, you can head on over to my Facebook page, or you can talk to me on Google Plus or Twitter. Of course, I did like the comments before, but now the way that YouTube has changed them, I can see the comments and I can try to reply to some of them, but it's a lot harder for me to reply to a comment on YouTube now than it used to be. So I do prefer if you just want to send me talk to me on Facebook, on the Facebook page, or anything like that, and I can talk to you, and I can always make videos about some of the things that you have. So if you have any suggestions or questions, and of course I still do read the comments, and I do try to reply to the comments. It's a little bit, YouTube, why? It wasn't broken. Why did you have to bend it over your knee and snap it in half? Why? I don't know why they do these things. Apparently Google seems under the impression of, guys, we got it right the first time, good on us, let's go and get it wrong by doing it a second time. And let's just keep repeating that process, no matter how much people don't like it. So, yes, I am very annoyed about this. It makes replying to comments a little bit annoying. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. So thanks for watching. This has been part 2 of the Mining and Jewelcrafting series. Remember to post those questions, suggestions, and all good stuff in comments, Facebook, yada yada. I've said this all before. I'm blabbering again. I blabber quite a lot. I am very talkative. I talk just endlessly. I'm still talking. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.